What's up, Internet Land? Josh here,
Tané here.
the amazing Tané.
Somewhat amazing.
And this amazing picture behind us. So, what Tané likes to do, and I wanted to point it out first thing, he takes old paintings and then just repaints over them to make them awesome. I'm trying to watch my language in the video. Tané may not, though, but he should.
Tolerable is what I think. But no, they're classy in their own right, even before I touch them.
Very classy. I think you just take that up as a living, and I would buy all of them if I could.
I think you should. I need the money.
So tonight we're going to answer questions about the game, and Tané, who draws a lot of design and concept art and is really awesome about it, he actually just draws what I tell him to draw, and turns out he doesn't know a whole lot about the game. So I figured he could ask me questions, and you hopefully have the same questions, and everyone gets their questions answered.
That sounds pretty good.
So we're making a zombie game. It's called The Final Days. It takes place in current time frame, no specific year really. So modern weapons, medicine, vehicles.
You're really taking all the questions away that I was right about to ask you.
Well, I'm just trying to get
So
the obvious one.
what's the game called?
What's
it all about?
The game is called The Final Days. It's about surviving the zombie apocalypse.
What year is this set in?
Current year. So
you have all the the basic medical supplies, all the food supplies, and
yeah.
nothing like really out of the ordinary.
Yeah, not really. There's not going to be any futuristic aspects. There's not going to be any, you're stuck in the past or in the 80s. It's going to be
lightsabers.
Not yet. I mean, maybe we'll have some unlockables if you buy enough junk off of our store.
Yeah.
Wait, we're going to have a store one day. We'll get to that. But for the main part, the game's just going to be straightforward zombie game. But what's going to make it different, set it apart, is it's going to take things into account that other games don't, like more survival aspects and day-to-day. Hey, well, actually, I'm not going to digress any of that because I don't know if I can. It's Homer's baby, not the father. So,
I wasn't even going to go there with the Jedi.
So, what are the questions you have, Mr. Tané?
Okay, well, let me see. I already knocked out the basic ones. So what is the premise of it? I mean, you've already talked about it. It's a survival, but I mean, what do you're surviving zombies. I get that. But also, I mean, is there like a main goal? Are you trying to build like a sense of community where you can battle the zombies, like you can regain like a society?
Great question. So the levels will be unlocked as you progress, and you'll unlock different parts of a city, and eventually a city will kind of be like a world. Like, so back in Super Mario, any Super Mario game, I think, you had all the different little levels, and they were part of a greater world. Well, there will be different parts of a city and a greater part of a city. Now, the game, actual play, has been taking on different forms as we play with technologies and ideas and get further. But the current iteration is, it's going to be to where you're building up your defenses, fortifying yourself against the zombies, going out to get more supplies to build up your fortifications, and the zombies will keep coming more and more at a time. Just like, if it were a real situation, not only are you building these defenses, you're able to actually attack them firsthand with various weapons that you find, or you can even create. And
are you going to be attacking them solely on your own, or are you going to have an opportunity to is there going to be multiple players, or different will essentially will it ever go even though I know it's like an app, but we'll be able to bring in other players using other mobile devices or whatnot.
Even though it's going to be on an app, we are looking into multiplayer and how well it would work out in a real-time environment. We do hope to eventually have it to where you're playing and other players playing, and you're playing in a co-op environment. Not only in the fact that we're both shooting zombies, so co-op works great that way, but one player can serve as a distraction for the zombies while the other goes and gets supplies, and we're trying to factor in those variables that you would actually see in a real zombie apocalypse, because there have been so many real zombie apocalypses to take away from nowadays.
Okay, so I'm a guy, but I'm just a part of a crowd, like half of them, the other being women, and I know I like playing certain female characters, especially in Tekken. And then, which is true.
They have better moves. They're totally one-sided.
But I mean, so So, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of like female video game players out there, and are you gonna have both male and female?
Yes, and in fact, so the comic that we're working on, that this great artist here is one of the artists. In fact, Tané and I, so real quick to digress, Tané and I are working on a comic about Randy the trucker, who will be one of the players that you can play as in the game. And our other comic artist, team and writer, not purposely, but they're both girls, as far as I know. So,
because you've never met them in person.
I have one of them.
One of them.
So Becca and Samantha are working on Cammy the student. And so the funny part is Randy the trucker is actually going to be a more mellow, like soft-hearted guy, and Cammy is going to be more like rigid and icy and like matter of fact. So we're trying to conflict from the expected personality types.
That's good, as you should. You should break stereotypes.
Oh yeah, we're so the girls team and we're the boys team, obviously. You can tell by our ruggedness. So the girls team is taking their character in whatever direction they want. We basically said, hey, here's the basics. Here's what she's going to look like, her background. Go with it. And then we got Randy the trucker, and we're trying to say, okay, where does he come from? Who is he? And we're going with this. So to jump back off of that digression, there will be 2 playable characters to start with. One, Randy the trucker, 2, Cammy the student. We're actually have a 3rd in the works. And as you'll see on our Indiegogo, there's a chance that you could be our 4th player.
That would be really cool.
And our 4th comic storyline. But you'll find out more about that when our Indiegogo is officially released. And when Homer tells me I can take the duct tape off my mouth and tell you all about it. So, yes.
Awesome.
Girls can play as girls, guys can play as guys can play as girls can play as werewolves. Just kidding, we don't have those. What's your next question?
Okay, so what is really going to set this apart than any other like RPG game or any other zombie apocalyptic game that's out there right now? What is going to really draw me into this more so than anything else? Besides that, the creators of this game are really cool. And we're really likable.
I hope.
Yeah.
I like me. I like you. I think a defining factor in a lot of games coming out of the Bacon Waffle Studios, once we have them running, is story. I mean, while we want to focus on gameplay, this game is a top-down zombie shooter with some tower defense elements built into it and other elements that we're still kind of deciding on and factoring in. And we're actually, the next game in the pipeline, not to give too much away, is going to be a 2D platformer. I mean, you could compare it to Mario or Sonic the Hedgehog, but it's going to have more elements in. Even though, we're working on different types of games, really the common denominator and the defining factor is going to be story. What draws you in? What makes you want to find out what happens next? And one of the main reasons we're doing that is because we can pull in other factors. Like you and I are making a comic that's going to tie into the backstory of the main player, and then the more that you play on the game, it's going to have real-time factors, medicine, food, drink, fortifying your bases, hiding and sneaking around, and we're going to try to build those in more than other zombie survival games have, and I love those games to death, so we're not trying to badmouth, we're just trying to say, hey, what are they not doing that if I were really in the zombie apocalypse, I would actually do? So that's kind of our driving factor, and with the initial game getting off the ground, we're trying to use what resources we have. All of us are interns. Tané actually gets paid nothing. I get paid negative money, which means I put money in. Tané gets paid nothing, and then one day he'll get money out, and I'll get...
I don't know, I care.
I'll stop.
I do it for the love.
And so right now we're trying to keep to the basics, but we have a lot of ideas going forward, and a lot of it does revolve around storyline and adding in more realistic factors that would be in an actual zombie apocalypse survival scenario.
Very cool. I like it. I want to go out and get it.
You should. In fact, the faster we work, the sooner you can play it. I know. And you too.
Absolutely.
So that's a lot of great questions. I think we've covered a lot of everything. Did you have anything else to ask or say to our wonderful viewers out there?
No, because I'm usually pretty shy on camera. I don't know what to say. Hi.
I'm surprised he's been on this long.
I know. I was about to leave.
He says leave, but we're actually in a small room.
We're in a very small room.
It's underground. We just don't talk about that.
I know. The windows are fake.
Yes. So back to your zombie movie references.
Okay.
I'll tell you that zombie reference later.
Okay, thank you.
He draws great, though. Don't worry, he's not writing the story.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I love you, man. Okay, so that's it for this video. Thank you for tuning in this week.
Thank you.
And we will see you next time.
See you next time.